Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys. I'm back to my old self again, and oh my God, I'm feeling like $1,000,000. So I'm gonna really make use of this profound vitality that I'm feeling right now, and I'm gonna knock out a bunch of the hacking the Technogenic system lessons all in one shot. I mean, obviously they'll be one video each, but I'm gonna go on a hacking the Technogenic system run. So today we are going to be talking about what grabs your attention. This is chapter number 9. I would like to thank everyone again that is involved in this. I don't really fully understand how much goes into a project like this until I get into it. And the number of people that are working on this is absolutely unreal. We're essentially translating a book. We're translating a book. We're perfecting the translation. I'm giving the rundown of the text the others have created. Ab's making the videos. We're organizing everything within the Facebook group. I mean, it's pretty epic. So please thank everyone below that's involved and let them know how much you appreciate their efforts, because this is a pretty awesome project. And I'm happy to be involved. Before I get started on this lesson, remember to like this video, subscribe, and comment questions and comments below. Also join us on the Facebook group, the International Transurfing Institute Facebook group. Follow me on Instagram, reality_transurfing, and lots of courses. We have Reality 2.0 and Tufty 2.0. Mo Money is a standalone, which is epic, 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 and beyond anything that I could have ever thought I would come up with myself. It's amazing. Even I listened to it and gained some benefit, even though I wrote the course. And Becoming Magnetic is just taking it to a whole new level with your self-love and attracting the right people and all that stuff. So if you have any interest in those courses, check out the links below. There are lots and lots and lots of details down there. So let's get right into it. Chapter 9, what grabs your attention? After the storm caused by the book of Reality Transurfing, I literally plunged into readers' letters from readers, as well as the demands by various periodicals, including foreign periodicals, to write articles or conduct interviews. These activities presented serious difficulties regarding my available time, which was reflected in the time required to write this book, which is now in your hands. Well, not technically, but let's roll with it. As a result, this book just took too long to be published. But on the other hand, such a thing delights my heart, because such warm interest indicates that the option of continuing the topic transurfing, which was discussed in recent books, was a good choice and came at the right time. The idea of cleansing the body, raising the levels of energy generated in it, and liberating awareness by consuming natural foods received great support from the readers. I received many messages full of enthusiasm and gratitude for this renewed transurfing, which is even more effective than the original transurfing. That's, I think, exactly why we're doing this. I only recently discovered that something strange is happening. People are always asking me in their letters about concepts that are quite clear in the books. The scene is literally as follows. I ask a straightforward question and a straightforward and clear question in the book, which is immediately answered with utmost precision and clarity. Yet someone who has read the book writes me to ask the same question. I had no interest in such situations before. I would say that they are due to the usual inattention in each of us. However, in recent times, this happens over and over and over. We can safely conclude that what is happening are not individual cases, but rather a phenomenon or something that has become normal. Therefore, I had the following impressions. It is as if a large number of readers are reading the book in question while their attention is drawn towards someone, or that something is grabbing their interests while they read. The case here is the same as with energy. If someone becomes ill, fighting off the disease consumes the largest portion of his energy. Or if a person overwhelms himself with obligations that exceed his capacity, the greater part of his free energy is trapped and stored as a reserve to fulfill those obligations. Hence, this chapter can be summarized through the following points. All right, ready, guys? 1. I think I once explained in my first book that pendulum sees a person's attention when he is in a fit of rage about something, or worried about something, or afraid of something. In such cases, a person is completely absent from consciousness, and he dives into his worries from head to foot as if he was living in a dream, and he does not come back to see or realize what is going on in the reality surrounding him. But at the same time, I did not describe this case as a general phenomenon. But now it is clearly unfolding as a natural phenomenon. I see this phenomenon as a warning or alarm because about 2 or 3 years ago, it was not so prominent and clear. Therefore, I will return to it more than once to analyze it. But for now, I will limit myself to some examples that illustrate the effect of kidnapped attention. Oh my God, do you just love it? I just love it. Okay, 2, this is what happens when you dully treat the principles of transurfing as absolute principles. You sink to the top of your head into the illusion that you yourself created. At that time, instead of controlling reality, it becomes impossible for you to even try to correct it. 3, this is what I insist on explaining, ignoring some provocateurs if possible, but ignoring the phenomenon is simply a kind of stupidity, and we must at least study it from the position of the neutral observer. The method of the ostrich is useless in this race. Of course, the body parasites, the consciousness parasites, as well as the social parasites are present in your world, and these will not disappear from the mere declaration that they do not exist. The first will settle in your body by stealth. They want you to forget about it and not remember. The second can simply take over your consciousness without you suspecting anything. As for the third, you will definitely meet them in the government institutions and other places. This is some deep shit, guys. 4, for example, the Transurfing Center announced a free seminar, and a very large number of people registered for it, much more than was expected, which forced the center to cancel further registration on the very first day because the class size was limited. However, the number of attendees who actually showed up were very few. This aroused the curiosity of the workers at the Transurfing Center, so they created a survey to determine why people were not attending. It turned out that the reasons were more than trite. 1, the time did not allow. 2, I was late to register. 3, I forgot. 4, the time was not right. 5, I came but not on time. And 6, the address was wrong, and that is why I did not receive an invitation, and other excuses. This indicates that most people are asleep and ignorant, and I mean here that they are literally acting as if they are in a dream. They are not the ones who run their lives, but their lives are what happens in spite of themselves. It is not at all difficult to assume that if participation in this seminar was paid, then no one would be late in attending, but it is reasonable that money is the only factor capable of arousing interest. If the survey was done among the people who are interested in transurfing, what would be the case with the rest of the people? It turns out that the effect of hibernation is now increasing and accelerating more and more because a few years ago, people were not in such a state of hibernation. Okay, before I move on to 5, I want to state that this has also happened to me in pretty extreme ways. As most of you can probably imagine, a lot of the work that is done within ITI is volunteer work. Some people are paid, but it's mostly volunteer, and we look for people that feel as though their skill set can be used for the specific tasks we're asking people to volunteer for, and people do so super enthusiastically. It's really crazy. Like if I were to put something up on the Facebook group right now and say, hey, we need volunteers, so many people would respond, be so happy, and they would declare excitement, and they would declare that they're going to do such an amazing job. And there's all of these statements of, being ready, willing, and able. And then literally no one will do the thing. And this has been fascinating to me because I myself have questioned, like, what the hell is going on here? Did they forget? Do they not care? And really, I think it boils down to exactly what Vadim Zeland is talking about here. Their attention gets grabbed by other entities, pendulums, and they just get sucked into another world. I mean, it really is crazy. So 5, compare the modern man with the man who lived 1,000 years ago, when there were no newspapers, cinema, radio, television, internet, or mobile phones, and you will see that they are completely different. This is not intended to be the difference between them in the level of mental development or the level of progress. Civilized or cultured, the essence of the issue here is that the modern person sits, in the literal sense of the word, on a media needle and has become unable to dispense with the torrent of information that is thrown at him from all sides. It is this torrent acting as a system that generates the effect of grabbing your attention. That's right, folks. You are trapped within the matrix, being bombarded with information and material from all sides. And this is essentially pinning you in to a position that is challenging to escape unless you wake up to it. 6, you may think that you are completely absorbed in what is occupying your mind at the present moment, and that your attention is in the highest degree of concentration regarding the thing that you are busy with, but in fact, only a small part of your attention works. As for the rest of it, which is the largest part, it is tied by an invisible thread to the internet and is booked as it's reserved, just like a financial deposit in the bank in order to serve the flow of information that directs you. 7, there is, in addition, an important part of your attention that is trapped in a state of hibernation. The barrage of information stresses it, the food that has been synthesized, and every other substance that excites to this or that degree causes a change in the state of consciousness. 8, attention is also trapped, and so is consciousness, by every food that is dead or cooked over a fire, stove, microwave oven, etc. 9, in this way, there are 2 parallel processes in reality: attention grabbing and attention siege. These 2 processes are an integral part of the original and more complex systems evolution mechanism. 10, the vast majority of people live in a dormant state. They move as if they are in a dream. They are not the ones who direct their lives. Rather, their lives lead them the way that they want. As I always say, create your own reality or one will be created for you. 11, instead of people making the intention to take the first step in front of the mirror in order for the image reflected in the mirror to advance to meet them, they try to hijack this image and pull it towards them by force. I see, oddly enough, I mean, it's crazy that I can actually make statements like this within this community, but I see the vast majority of transurfers doing just this. 13, the flow of information created by the global system generates the effect of capturing human attention, which is very effective. So attention is the new commodity, y'all. This is what's valuable. This is what all the social media sites are gunning for. This is what's being consumed by the massive pendulums at B. And this is what is going to, in my opinion, and I know this is some pretty dark stuff, and I do actually believe this, I believe that this is going to ultimately end the human race for sure. 14, only a small part of your attention is activated, while the bulk of it remains in reserve, such as a financial deposit in the bank, and thus remains the system in the service of the flow of external information, which directs all your behavior. 15, another important part of our attention is in a state of siege and in a state of hibernation, that being the synthetic food that has been manufactured. This food is tightening the siege on the intention. The phenomenon of attention grabbing, which has become common in recent years, is the first symptom that indicates that the global system is evolving as rapidly as a cancerous tumor. This will not pass easily for a person because his talents are trapped and his potential is drastically diminished. We had started by discussing the principles of transurfing and its thorny issues, but now we turn to shed some light on the origin of these difficulties. So again, thank you Mohil, Basher, Teodora, Terza, me, Abdigafor, everyone else that's involved in this. Your efforts and attention to this issue has been outstanding, and thank you so much. So I think that the bottom line of this creepy ass lesson is that I see myself and I see my reality is so unbelievably crucial at this time. Getting yourself into this mode where you are constantly waking up and asking yourself, where was my attention just now? Who had it and why did they have it? How is whatever has captivated me benefiting from my attention? And how can I take my attention back to serve my own intentions rather than the intentions of the powers that be, the pendulums, the entities that are in fact captivating you and stealing or hijacking your attention? So I came out with a video, I don't know if it's gonna come out before this or after this, but it was called Judgment. And I really do feel that at this point in the game, this structure that is being created to captivate our attention and hijack our attention and lead us down a path that does not serve us or our intentions is really one of the key components of this matrix or this structure is this activity that the pendulum's setting up that is driving us into a position where we are in a constant state of placing judgment on others or something or politics or philosophy or health matters or whatever. Because as long as we are standing in a position where we feel the desire or the urge to observe and place a value on everything that we encounter and then either throw it into a pile of good or bad, right or wrong, this is the right way to do it, that's the wrong way to do it, these are the right people, these are the bad people, these are the people who've got it figured out, these are the people that are confused, these are the good people, these are the evil people, this is the evil political party, that's the good political party. As long as you're in this position, and this is one of the number one tools that pendulums are using right now, you have no ability to actually create your own reality because you are just doing that. You are always organizing. You're always throwing into one camp or the other. You're always assessing the moral integrity or value of that pendulum and trying to make sense of how you're going to respond, how you're going to engage, how you're going to input your 2 cents, where you're going to place them within those different camps that you or the pendulums have set up. And backing up out of that, I see myself, I see my reality. This does not get me anywhere. Stop with the judgment. Stop with the caring about the political stuff. Stop with caring about the health crisis stuff. Stop with caring about anything that is forcing you to make a divisive sort of stance and back up off it. And I see myself and I see my reality. Really just check it before you wreck it. That's my tip for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.